Hey folks, this is Vent with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly review Silmaris, Dice Kingdom. This is a game that's coming to Steam on December 3rd, 2020, so roughly 2 days from now, as of the date and time of this recording. I covered this game and previewed it back in, I want to say October, but now that I've had a chance to complete a full playthrough, which took about an hour and a half, I gotta say, this game is actually quite fun, although it involves a lot of dice rolling and a lot of RNG as a result of that. So if you're not a fan of RNG, you may not like this game, but hear me out, it's actually quite fun. So what is Silmaris Dice Kingdom all about? Well, first of all, when you set up your game, you'll be able to choose 5 characters. You get 5 default ones, but these characters are like your advisors. They will give you various colored dice, and you'll be using these dice to perform actions on your turn, but I'll get to that. So when you're setting up your game, you get some advisors. If you want the advanced setup, you can remove the free advisors in place of ones that are better, but you have to give up fate points. Fate points are kind of like your life force in this game. If you run out of fate points and the situation calls for fate points, you are dead. You're the game over. There are other conditions that could cause that, but you want to keep your fate points in the positive. So you can give up some of your starting fate points to get better advisors in the beginning. You can also set your preferred method of handling things. Like you can choose Merciless, which simply means that you take an iron fist approach to a lot of the problems. And if you do that, if you react to certain events within the character that you set in the beginning, then you'll get bonuses, which is kind of cool. So if you chose a merciless trait, you're going to be attacking a lot. If you chose a diplomatic trait, then you'll be engaging more in peace, and you'll be favored in text dialogue if you choose the peaceful options. You get the idea. So you'll be able to set up your game. Once you're in game, you're going to be managing this central city, and the map will be populated with other cities controlled by other rulers. And there's a diplomacy element to this, like they will either hate you, be at war with you, be neutral, be allied, whatever. So you'll be able to befriend them all or try and take them all over. A typical turn plays out as follows. At the beginning of a turn, there's some dialogue that you have to read. Sometimes it's an event, sometimes it's part of the main story, sometimes it's just one of those like choose your own adventure, you know, this is a one-off situation, pick a response to this and see what happens. And again, if you choose a dialogue that favors your starting setup personality, then you'll usually get a bonus for that. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's the best option though. So once you get past that story part of it, then you'll have your actions that you can take. Each advisor gets one action. And you can, with that advisor, try and get more dice. You've got this dice pool. You've got different colored dice. Black, red, blue, yellow, and green. Each dice color represents a different aspect of your town, your city. For example, black dice is your military. That's how many soldiers you have. Red dice represents your spies, your spy network. The yellow dice represents construction, so you can upgrade your dice pool limits. So in the beginning, you can only hold 15 dice of, say, black or red or yellow, but using your yellow dice, you can build and upgrade your existing buildings to hold more dice, which is cool. Your green dice, your adventure dice. Different things will pop up on the map. Oh, an ogre is invading this, or there's an abandoned mine. Well, you can use your green dice to try and complete that and, you know, get some kind of reward. And finally, your blue dice is your diplomatic dice. You'll be able to engage in diplomacy with the various towns. So, again, each advisor gets one action. They can either try and roll for more dice, or you can drag them to various actions on the map to complete something. So, for example, I've got my advisor that has a +2 black die on it, meaning that if I try and get dice with him, I can try and earn more black dice, primarily, although I can choose another colored die, but it won't be as good. Like I have the chance of only earning 1 red as opposed to 2 black, or 1 blue as opposed to 2 black, because he's focused on military. He's focused on black dice. That's his specialty. You can try and earn dice outside of their specialty, but they're not as efficient doing that. So you can, again, have these advisors just try and roll for more dice so that it adds to your dice pool. Or, again, you can drag them to different parts of the map. You can drag the military guy, for example, onto, say, besiege enemy town. And if your army, when you assign dice to it and you roll your dice and compare it to his dice roll, if your dice comes up with more successes than him, then you take over his town, they become your vassal, and they give you a die every turn for free. Likewise, diplomacy. You can again use your diplomat, the guy with blue dice, to either try and get more blue dice or another dice of a different color, or you can drag him to diplomatic actions that will try and raise your faction standing. And in doing so, they might actually be open to trade. A +2 green die in exchange for -1 yellow die. So there are advantages and disadvantages of going different routes with this. The red die, you can use as actions to spy on a town, which reduces all missions by 3 dice. So, like if the enemy has 22 black dice as their combat that you have to beat, they're going to roll 22 black dice to see in combat to see whether or not you besiege their town. Using the spy action, you can remove 3 dice from that, or from every other action like diplomacy or whatnot from the enemy town. More red dice, you can do smuggling, which means you can take some of their dice every turn. So yeah, again, you're going to be assigning these advisors to various actions or just trying to earn dice, period. Once you're done, you end your turn. Next turn starts. Again, more dialogue. You choose something, if it's even possible. And then, again, you get 5 more actions, 1 with each of your advisors. You can buy more advisors. Like, you can buy another advisor to replace an existing one if you want, using your fate points. And you'll be earning these fate points and using them. Fate points are used for rerolls. So let's say you roll very badly. You can use fate points to reroll your dice. You can use fate points to get you out of bad situations. But again, that's your life force, so don't use them willy-nilly. So you can gain better advisors through fate points and replace existing ones. You'll also gain these artifacts. Some of your green missions, like investigate this cave or destroy this wyvern or protect it, whatever you decide to do with it. If you manage to complete it, then you'll get an artifact, and you can assign 1 artifact per advisor. If you try to assign another artifact to an advisor that has one, you'll replace it, and you'll have to pay a fate point to do it. Some artifacts are really good, some are okay. Typically, they give you more dice. So if I assign a +2 black, this artifact has a +2 black and a +1 red, I can assign that to my military guy. Now he's got +4 black and +1 red. So he'll be able to earn more dice of those colors typically. You'd want him to roll black, obviously, when trying to earn dice, because he's got more black. So you get the idea. So this is an engine builder in the sense that you're trying to build better advisors. You're trying to increase your dice pool. You're trying to use your actions to just get over certain situations. My first playthrough, I thought I was doing okay. Up until I received a notice saying, you're not conquering enough people. I guess I had chosen the merciless trait, so people were mad at me that I was being friends with everyone. So I'm like, okay, I guess I better switch tactics. So I switched advisors out to, I got 2 of the military advisors, 2 with black dice, so I could generate more black dice every turn, and just pump out black dice, and then hopefully win the skill checks. There's a lot of RNG, like I said. I managed to conquer 2 towns, and 3 remained. However, the one declared war on me because I'm ruthless. But that wasn't it. I was fending off his attacks, and then all of a sudden, an event happens that, there was an event that started 10 turns ago, and I let it go. And it was benefiting me for a while, and then it turned into something really bad, and I lost the game. I'm not going to tell you what it is because it's one of the endings, but and it's part of the story. So there are multiple endings to this game depending on how you behave, what happens with these various events that pop up. So even though it looked like I was on my way to conquering all of the world, I was undone by a particular event. And it was a weird twist, but I really enjoyed that twist. I'm like, that sucked. But at the same time, I want to play again. I want to try and do better this time. Now, as much as I'm raving about this game, I have to warn you, there's a lot of RNG. Yes, you can assign more dice to an attempt, like a combat or diplomacy or spy mission or exploration, in order to increase your odds of rolling more successes. But sometimes you'll have 9 dice to the enemy's 6, and they'll still roll more successes than you, in which case you have to give up fate points to try and re-roll, in which case that may not work, and you may end up losing more. And you just have to probably bite the bullet and accept the fact that, you know what, you're just not going to... RNG is going to just win today, and you'll just have to do something else. That's the only downside to this game, is the RNG. If you don't mind that, if you don't mind a lot of dice rolling, then check this game out. It is fantastic, and I kind of want to play again. Maybe I'll stream it at some point. If you guys haven't already, subscribe to me on Twitch and YouTube. That way you can stay up to date with any new content I happen to publish. This is Vince. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.